The following podcast contains explicit language and content that may not be suitable for some listeners. Listener discretion is advised.
Welcome to the Get Spooky podcast, where two funny dudes share paranormal stuff, true crime, and other scary things from around the world. I'm Kevin.
And I'm Andres.
And welcome.
Welcome to the Spooky Podcast.
Welcome to episode 93.
Love that. Love that we had to look it up.
I'm finally remembering.
We're almost at 100.
Almost at 100.
That's crazy. We should have been there a long time ago if we released more episodes, but...
True. I mean, with the Chiquisodes, I think we are at 100. Right? Anyway.
Yeah, I think so.
Dude, I want to make more Chiquisodes, so...
We need to do it, but don't say it out loud because then our primos and primas are going to be asking for them.
I mean, I don't mind.
Yeah.
Because I want to know at least, like, what our listeners want to hear.
I want to know.
And there are a lot of good stories coming in. I've been reading them. One of them, we'll have to... Yeah.
We'll have to talk about it.
We'll have to talk about it.
All right, before we get too far into it, guys... and gals and theys, we have some links on our Instagram. We talk about them every episode, but we're going to keep talking about them. It's some immigration resources. There's what to do if ICE shows up, like if you're at work, home, school, wherever it is. Those are two informational links, and then we've got two places that you can donate to for organizations that are helping out undocumented people or people that have been detained by ICE. The Support Palestine links are still going to be there also. It's Doctors Without Borders and a charity organization for children. So if you can please donate to any of those, we would really appreciate it.
If you can. Yep. Which also reminds us, with donations and this time of the year, it is back to school season. So if you know any teachers in your life, reach out to them and say, hey, what do you need? As we all know in this country, they don't prioritize education, or the government does not prioritize education, unfortunately. So the only option is for a lot of teachers to pay for their own supplies. So if you know any teachers in your life, reach out to them and say, hey, can I buy a box of crayons for you? At literally anything.
Shout out to Emily, because she emailed us and we bought her something.
Yeah.
We bought her a few things. So we hope that all of those kids in our classroom can get a great education. That's the issue. It's like, how do people expect kids to get a good education and then not supply them with enough tools to get it done? You know what I mean? And then rely on like teachers to either purchase out of their own pockets or ask other people to. Like, we don't mind that we had to donate. That's not what I'm saying. It's like, it's just like a systematic issue that's really sad.
Yeah, when we can. When we can, we don't mind helping. Ideally, I think it'd be really cool for anyone to reach out to even if you don't have kids, reach out to your local schools and say, hey, can I donate something?
Here's the way I always look at it, because there's always people like, the thing of like, taxes should pay for free school lunches, taxes should pay for continuing education, and some people are like, oh, I don't have children. Oh, I don't this, I don't that. Okay, but those children train later on to become doctors, nurses, that are people that are in the workforce. And if that gets them through school and gets them their degree to be able to like help you wherever you go, if you're like later in life, if you need a doctor, and maybe that child might have not afforded it, but they were able to because your taxes help pay for that. I mean, that's a good way to look at it too. Like, maybe it's like, you don't directly have children, but it directly affects people that can help you out in the workforce.
Well, I don't think people really understand the concept of community. Yeah. That's why it's hard for them to be like, why is it my problem? That's a them problem, not me. Like, some people are like, actually, I don't mind if children are in debt. Like, that's weird.
Actually, I don't mind. You know what? I don't mind that children have to be in school by law, and then we charge them to feed them.
Yeah. And
What
I'm
the
only
fuck is
laughing because it's
that?
like, it's weird that it's weird that people have that mentality. They're like, why should I pay for someone else's lunch?
Oh, you
I'm like,
can't
oh,
get
because
free
they're
lunch
children.
because you're not poor enough.
I think everyone should have free lunch, actually.
Yeah.
It's a school.
Especially for children. Especially for children. I was about to say make the teachers pay for their lunches, but they don't get paid enough either.
I think teachers should pay. No, I'm just kidding.
No.
I think teachers should get free lunch too. I mean, if you're
Yeah.
at the school, there's a lot of jobs and a lot of companies that like cater free lunch for their employees. Like,
Mhm.
anyway, this just all means that we need more funding for schools.
Yes.
And if you know a teacher in your life, thank you for your service.
Yeah.
Or if you're a teacher, thank you for your service.
I don't know. I was just kind of thinking about it the other day, like that, like the training or like the money that we give for taxes. If we did paid people to go to school, and they could be our nurses, they could be our doctors, they could be the police officers, they could be whatever, like public service.
Even
is
beyond
out there.
that, these are your neighbors. These are
Yes.
your people you see at your grocery stores. These are people that you live next to. So it's like,
Yeah.
why wouldn't you want to make life better for everyone around you if you can?
Because when you're more educated, when you're more like you have more opportunities,
Mhm.
like the trending of crime seems to go down as well.
Yeah.
So, I mean, we're just very individualistic here in the United States.
Yeah.
It's kind of sad. But anyways, moving on. We wanted to talk about, we have been watching a lot of movies recently since the last episode.
Girl.
And so we wanted to talk about a couple of movies we watched. So like the first one we have watched was, since we did the episode on the Kisaragi Station, which was the last episode, which was my episode, we actually watched the Kisaragi Station movie.
Yeah, you mentioned it
Yes.
in the episode, and we looked for it, and it was very difficult to find because online it says that it's available on Netflix. But I think it's only available on Netflix in Japan.
Yeah, it's I looked it up, and it's only been released in Asian countries. It doesn't have like an English release.
So I think we saw it in Indonesian, obviously Japanese. There was another one. I just couldn't. Yeah.
Something like that. We like literally Googled it and then found a website. I pulled it up on my laptop and I casted it from the laptop to the TV. And it was supposed to be like English subtitled, but the subtitles were way off. It was
They
not
were
right.
not only translated wrong, they were delayed.
Yes.
So someone
like a
would say
minute.
something, and then a minute later, you would,
It'd be like, hey, he's going to eat you. Turn around. And it's like, oh, he already ate her. She's
Literally.
gone. She's gone. She has moved on from this world. But to be honest with you, like, so I looked up a little bit more about the movie because we watched the movie. It was a fun watch. It wasn't bad. Like, you literally see the story of this girl recount. So what it is this girl's doing a report for college or like high school or something. And she's
University.
doing like university. She's doing like folkloric studies, and she's doing the urban legend of the Kisaragi Station.
yes.
So she goes and finds the lady that had this happen to her and interviews her.
A woman that's allegedly
A survivor.
experienced it and
she
was
a
able to get out.
survivor.
Yeah.
So it's like really interesting to watch, like kind of like almost word for word. There is going to be a variation of like, because they have to put it in for film. It ended up being like that lady was in the Kisaragi Station world a little longer, and a couple of things happened that don't happen in the urban legend, but it was pretty good. And then I don't want to spoil the rest. So you're gonna have to look it up and watch it with the bad subtitles
If you
like we
can.
did. Yeah,
If
but
you can.
keep in mind this director. His name is director Jiro Nagai. He is known for like kind of doing cheesy and like campy stuff because he really liked like PS1 graphics type of stuff. So some of the effects and like when stuff starts going down look very video gamey. But I think that's part of the gimmick.
It like looks very low budget.
Yeah, it's low budget.
Intentionally.
Think like Silent Hill on PS2.
Resident Evil on PS1.
Yeah, some of the effects are like that, but it still gets the the idea across, the exploration of the urban legend. I really had a fun time watching that movie, even though it took us 2 days to finish it.
There's a lot of good jump scares, but it mainly has to do with not knowing what they're saying. Because they did have they took a lot of liberties from the original source material. So I liked it. If you're able to find it in a language you speak, I say go for it.
Hell yeah, watch it. It's fun. It's not going to be one of those that, like, I have to watch cartoons after this movie because it scared me so much.
Nah.
Like, it's kind of, like, fun to watch because the protagonist is kind of, like, badass. Like, after she interviews her, things go down, and so she has to be kind of a badass and, like, save people, but it was cool.
Other than that, I mean, we've been eating good with horror movies recently.
Yep.
We finished watching a few weeks ago together with
it was Dave Franco and Alison Brie. The director for that movie was Michael Shanks.
It was interesting.
It was interesting.
It was how should I say? It was body horror.
Mm-hmm.
It had a very original concept of well, anything I say is going to spoil it, so I'm just going to leave it at that. If you don't like body horror, I don't recommend it. It's not like gory, but it does make you uncomfortable at times.
Mm-hmm.
But it was okay.
Yeah,
I wouldn't say it's my favorite.
It explores some themes of, like, relationship ups and downs.
Yeah.
Is, like, does one person feel like they're doing more of the heavy lifting than the other one? Is there some times where, like, one person feels like they love their partner more than the other one, and then, like, the ebb and flow of that, like, sometimes that switches to the other person. They feel like they're doing the heavy lifting, or they feel like they're the one that love their partner more, and it's like it kind of shows, like, that dynamic of it switching back and forth between them. And then also coupled with, like, the body horror that's going on, it's like a very good introspective into, like, relationships and how they work. The individuality aspect of it, the duality aspect of it. Like, do you lose yourself as an individual, or do you lose yourself as a couple, two separate people, and then become individual or codependent, et cetera, et cetera. There are very interesting themes that I just hadn't seen been explored in a horror movie before. And it was presented in such a way that, like, you don't know what you're watching. It's not like expository, like, oh yes, two couples, they love each other sometimes, but somebody's always chasing one. No, but you see it being presented and acted out in a way with body horror mixed in that keeps it really interesting. So
other than that, we recently watched Weapons, which I would say is, like, one of the best horror movies of the year so far. Only because it's like you don't know what's happening. You walk into it not knowing what to expect. And it's like a good mix of a lot of stuff.
Yeah, there's, like, comedy in there. There's
paranormal stuff. There's witchcraft, body horror.
Can you bleep out the witchcraft and bleep that out? I don't want to ruin it for everybody. It was good. It's just I wasn't expecting it. Like, from the very beginning, it starts. The foreshadowing is there. You have to pay attention. If you're gonna go watch this movie, pay attention to the scenes and the backgrounds and the mirrors and stuff in this movie.
It's a type
because you will miss it.
Yeah, it's the type of movie that you would want to watch several times to understand, or you can just watch once and then watch, like, a YouTube video explaining it.
Yeah. I keep seeing discourse come about plot holes. And I think nowadays people don't actually understand what plot holes are. Plot holes are not things that are not explained in the movie, right?
Yes.
Those are things that are left open-ended for you to kind of either figure out yourself, or so that we can get a sequel or a prequel. That is not a plot hole. A plot hole is like a TV show saying, oh, if you get bit, you will get the zombie virus. And this is true of every person except one person gets bit and they don't get the zombie virus. And they're like, oh, what's so special about them? Nothing. They just didn't get the zombie virus.
Well,
That's
not even
a plot
that.
hole.
A plot hole would be more like in that example that nothing happens and nothing is explained. where it's like the writers forgot about the rule that they established before.
Yes.
It just kept it going without even acknowledging it.
Well, I was kind of trying to explain that with the zombie,
Yeah.
like
No, I know what
where
you
it's
mean.
like all of a sudden for one person or one thing or one situation, it's different, but they don't explain why it's different. That would be a plot hole. It's like, okay, well, why was it different this
It's kind of
time?
like if you were to bring it up to a writer, they'd be like, "Oh, I forgot about that." Like that's a plot hole. Or it's like
Yeah.
something's incomplete or something doesn't make sense and it breaks a rule that had previously
Yeah.
been established already.
It's not like if they didn't give enough background on a character, that's not a plot hole. I'm sorry,
I
that's
guess
media literacy. You need to read like read around the context and
Yeah.
try to figure out what's going on.
I
This
guess
is like
do you want to jump into the case now?
well, I mean, just to sum it up, like this movie is a very fun watch. It's
Yeah.
very scary in some parts. It's body horror in some parts, in my opinion.
Mm-hmm.
There's kids involved, which always makes a movie fucking freaky as hell to me. And then, so yeah, it's like a very fun. It's 2 hours long, so it's a pretty long movie, I think. But it keeps you entertained the whole time. Like there's times where it's like it's real scary, but then it does like it breaks the tension with something comedic, and then you go back to some exposition a little bit, and like so it's got a little bit of everything. I had a really fun time watching it. Is it a perfect movie? No, it's not a perfect movie. There's always room for improvement, but I think that if you go in here with like not having like expectations of getting jump scared every 5 minutes and things like that, like if that is a type of movie you enjoy, you will not enjoy this movie. But this is a very fun watch.
Yeah.
You want to jump into the case now?
Yes.
I'm done yapping. I'm sorry.
Okay.
What do you got for us today?
So my case, as you guys can all tell by the title, is the Nantes Massacre. And I haven't really seen a lot of English sources talk about this. There are a few.
I can't recall. Like, I haven't really heard of this.
Are you familiar with it?
I think, like, when you were listening to some of the videos or like reading some of the stuff out loud, I was like, this does sound familiar.
Mm-hmm.
But this isn't one like a popular case, like the Golden State Killer. Like, this isn't something you hear about, or Richard Ramirez. This isn't something that's like super common.
So it was famous in France, but it got a lot of fame or notoriety, or is more well known.
Notoriety?
Sure. Because of a episode of Unsolved Mysteries on Netflix. So, let's jump in. My sources are a Detective Box article, a West France article, a radiotimes.com article, a YouTube video by Neoxy, and Wikipedia. So I do want to put a content warning that there is mentions of murder, suicide, cults, guns, and drugs. So, in the morning of Thursday, the 21st of April, 2011, in the town of Nantes, France, the remains of 5 members of an aristocratic family were discovered buried under the patio of the family's back garden.
I have heard this. Okay. Interested.
A weeks-long investigation of the missing family finally yielded this unexpected result. But what was believed to be an epilogue that would shed some light into this mystery only brought on more unanswered questions. Of the bodies found under the patio, the patriarch of the family was not accounted for. This launched a nationwide investigation into l'homme le plus recherché de France, or France's most wanted man, Xavier Dupont de Ligonnès. So, Xavier Pierre-Marie Dupont de Ligonnès was born on the 9th of January 1961 in Versailles. The Dupont de Ligonnès family was an aristocratic family from Annonay, a city in southeastern France. His childhood was not easy, especially after his father left his family when he was only 10 years old. Many people believe that this abandonment certainly influenced his personality from a young age, even creating the following belief: un père de famille qui abandonne sa famille par le départ ou le suicide est soit un lâche, soit un égoïste. So translated is, sorry, I'll translate, it's okay. A father who abandons his family by leaving or committing suicide is either a coward or a selfish person. After the family's sole provider left, the family fell into a financial hardship, which is believed to have played a role in Xavier's obsession with money, and there's more on that later. However, during the 70s, Xavier's mother, Geneviève, founded l'Église de Philadelphie, which started as a small prayer group with traditional Catholic teachings, but took characteristics of a cult by following very strict prohibitions. So she kind of just started like a prayer group, but they kind of started spiraling into kind of a cult with her as like the leader. She started making money off of this like cult by charging her followers and convincing them that the Catholic Church had been infiltrated by the devil and that the end of the world was approaching. So she just made that up.
Oh, brother. We just got another doomsday prepper over here.
So Father Jean de la Villarmois, who knew about the group, later called them out in 1995, calling them a cult manipulated by a sick person. Gagged. Later that year, after allegedly receiving a vision of the imminent new world, Geneviève called all her followers to a chateau where she asked all of the men to have sexual relations with her 29-year-old daughter, Christine, in order to conceive the Savior.
Boy, that is crazy.
And the thing is like, she just made this all up. She literally just said that all of it came to her like as a vision.
Girl, that's not God talking to you. That's a mental illness.
After this, many members distanced themselves from the group and warned the Catholic Church. So this worsened the family's financial situation, with those member fees no longer coming in. It was confirmed that Xavier was not present during that meeting, but investigators found in 2009 that the group was still active. As of 2009, and that Xavier had contacted them on their church forum online. Agnès, Xavier's wife, also shared her concerns with many of her friends that she was afraid of Xavier's mother. So there's a lot going on already. So Agnès Hodanger was born on the 9th of November 1962 in Neuilly-sur-Seine, a suburb of Paris. She worked as an assistant teacher at Blanche de Castille Catholic School in Nantes. She met Xavier in the 80s in Versailles, and she immediately fell in love with him. She was described as being very shy and dreamt of a marriage and starting a family, but Xavier only seemed to be interested in partying and chasing girls. After some time, Xavier broke up with Agnès, leaving her for another woman and moving to the US. So she continued her life and eventually started dating a man with whom she ends up pregnant with, and she gives birth to her son Arthur on the 7th of July 1990. The man doesn't accept his son, like the son as his, and he ends up leaving Agnès to raise their son Arthur by herself. A few months later, Xavier returns to France and reconnects with Agnès in late 1990. They start dating again and they end up getting married in 1992 in Versailles, after which Xavier recognizes Arthur as his new son and he takes Xavier's family's name. Agnès would then give birth to 3 more children with Xavier: Thomas on the 20th of August 1992 in Draguignan, Anne on the 2nd of August 1994 in Draguignan, and Benoit on the 29th of May in 1997 in Nantes. So to everyone on the outside, the family seemed very put together, and for the most part they were. Except Xavier. He was a business entrepreneur, and his professional activities had been described as very vague. He created several businesses, all with very little success, but all had to do with sales. He established several of these businesses in France and one in the US. A lot of the public records about their businesses usually show very little information with very few employees. For the most part, Xavier allegedly followed a Ponzi-like pyramid scheme where he borrowed money from 3 very large loan companies, from his friends, and from his family in order to pay back the other people he owed. Around February of 2009, Xavier reconnected with a former girlfriend from when he was a teen, named Catherine. Catherine was a successful businesswoman, while Xavier, who believed himself not to be successful. Xavier started having an affair with her that lasted a few months. Within those few months, Xavier was able to convince her to invest in his new success plan called Le Projet Cristal, to which she accepts and gives him about 50,000 euros, which at that time would have been about $66,500. Unfortunately, he insisted using the money on doing things with Catherine, like going out to eat and taking her out and paying off other debts that he had accumulated instead of what he had told her he was going to use it for.
Oof.
He eventually had to tell Catherine the truth in October of 2009, and after months of arguing with him going nowhere, she emailed him that she had contacted her lawyer and that they would be settling it in court. A few weeks later, he was emailing two of his friends, Emmanuel Teneur and Michel Rétif, about what was happening when he said, Je serai donc fin août, début septembre, au pied du mur, avec une décision définitive à prendre, suicide seul ou suicide collectif. I will therefore be at the end of August or beginning of September with my feet against the wall, making a definitive decision, suicide alone or collective suicide.
What the fuck?
Which is a crazy thing to say to your friends.
Yeah. Like, oh, I'm in money problems, so it's not just my problem. I'm going to take other people with me. Like, what are you doing?
Yeah. Well, he literally said, like, by the end of August, beginning of September, I'm going to either, take my own life or take my life and everyone else's too. Which, as a friend, if someone told me that, that's like a red flag.
Police.
Not only that, I'm just like, hey, is everything okay? In January of 2011, Xavier's father, Bernard Hubert Dupont de Ligonnès, passed away at the age of 79, which some people believe may have had been a catalyst of what was to come. Allegedly, the death of his father changed something in Xavier, which some believe may have been made him reconsider his life choices, such as what would he end up leaving his family, what type of heritage would he be leaving behind besides debt. From his father, Xavier inherited a .22 long caliber rifle. He got his firearms license in February and started going to a shooting range a month later in March. So, this is where I go day by day for about 3 weeks and explain what was happening, because there was always something happening leading up to the discovery of the bodies, okay? So on the 1st of April 2011, Xavier is seen purchasing quick drying cement, building material, black trash bags, and a shovel.
Okay.
On the 3rd of August 2011, the family, except Thomas, went out to dinner, then went out to see a movie that night. Around 10:30 p.m., Xavier calls his sister Christine, but gets her voicemail box instead. It's a very normal voicemail, so nothing out of the ordinary. The night between the 3rd and the 4th is the last time that Arthur, Anne, and Benoit were seen alive. On the 4th of April 2011, Anne and Benoit don't go to school due to illness, something that their friends find out of the ordinary. So they try messaging them with no response.
Uh-huh.
At the time, there had been rumors circulating around town believing to have been started by Xavier that the family would be leaving for Australia, where their father had gotten a job offer.
Oh.
Xavier called a Catholic school where Agnès worked and told them that she would not be coming in due to gastroenteritis, which is like food poisoning, I guess.
Okay.
Xavier and Thomas are seen at a high-end restaurant in Avrier near Angers, just eating. After they are interviewed by police, two servers at the restaurant recalled Thomas barely speaking to his father. And they were just there by themselves.
Okay.
Like, none of the other family members were there. On the 5th of April 2011, a debt collector comes to the house but says no one answers the door. An employee from a nearby hair salon claims that he saw Agnès outside of her house around noon. They specifically said it was on Tuesday, the 5th of April, because they get paid on Tuesdays. And the reason I bring this up is because earlier, when it's believed that Agnès may have been murdered between the 3rd and the 4th, someone saw her on the 5th.
Okay.
Thomas spent Tuesday afternoon at his friend's house and planned on spending the night there. According to Thomas's friend, Xavier called Thomas and told him to come home because his mother had been involved in a cycling accident. And after he got home, Thomas's text became short. The night between the 5th and the 6th is the last time Thomas was seen alive.
Okay.
On the morning of the 6th of April, 2011, Thomas's girlfriend becomes concerned after not having heard from him, so she showed up at the house and knocked. She claimed that there was a light in the house, but no one came to the door. The family had 2 large Labradors that barked whenever someone knocked, but this time the 2 dogs didn't bark at all.
No.
On
not
the 7th,
dogs.
Sorry. On the 7th of April 2011, Xavier is seen making several trips in the house to the car with large garbage bags. Another neighbor claimed that she saw Agnes walking her dog on this day, but had to cut their conversation short because her son got out early from daycare on Thursdays. So specifically, she said it had to have been on a Thursday because that my son gets out of daycare early that day.
Okay.
Even years later, this neighbor has stuck to her story that she saw and spoke with Agnes on the 7th of April, almost 4 days after that she was purportedly murdered. On the 11th of April 2011, Xavier left his house for the last time and checked into a hotel for the night in Puilboro, about an hour 45-minute drive from Nantes. Okay, so he's left. He's gone.
Mm-hmm.
The family's neighbors become concerned about the family and noticed that house window shutters were all shut, which is not common because the family always left them open, even on days that they would go out on vacation. Like, this town is very small. It seems like, not like small, but it's like a...
Everybody knows each other.
Yeah, it's a medium-sized city, so it's not like a town either, sorry.
Yeah.
It's a city, but everyone... It's small enough to know when, like, people know each other's neighbors. The family's neighbors became concerned about the family... Sorry, I already said that. It was one neighbor in particular that noticed this, too. She was actually interviewed, too, for the Unsolved Mysteries episode.
La chismosa.
And sometimes those chismosas are important. Sometimes those chismosas solve mysteries.
Yeah, that's why they don't have any serial killers in the Philippines.
Oh, that's true. I saw that. It was someone in the Philippines allegedly said that allegedly there were no serial killers in the Philippines because everyone is chismoseando.
Did you just see that man? He's weird. Let's go watch him.
And they're so real for that. So this neighbor walked outside and saw a typed sheet of paper taped to the mailbox asking to return all mail to their senders. On the 11th of April 2011, Anne and Benoit's school received a signed letter from Xavier that the kids would be leaving the school because they were moving to Australia immediately. Along with this letter, the school received a final payment settlement for tuition. Xavier is seen in Blagnac in Haute-Garonne in southwestern France, about a 4-hour drive from where he had last been seen. So at this point, he's like a 5.5-hour drive away from Nantes.
Uh-huh. So was he mailing all that stuff in? Like the notes, the money?
I think he may have been doing it when he was there. He handled everything and then left.
Okay.
On the 12th of April 2011, Xavier spent the night at a hotel in Le Pontet in Vaucluse in southeastern France, about a 3.5-hour drive from his last location. So now he's getting further. Okay. He's literally on the opposite side of the country. On the 13th of April 2011, the same neighbor that noticed the window shutters were all closed had walked by every day out of concern and noticed that nothing had changed. So she was hoping like she would walk by and see like
a window was open.
The
door was slightly ajar. Like
something looked different.
Notices of life or signs of life.
Yes, but nothing did. So it looked like no one was home, which only made her worry, so she called the police. The local police show up to the house as like a routine wellness check, but find that no one answers the door, so they get a locksmith to open it for them. So, inside, everything is in its place. There aren't any signs of a struggle, anything that would show that like something happened, like a story or a narrative was built or something. It looked literally just normal. But they do see that the bed sheets on some beds were removed and bedroom closets were empty.
Okay.
It looks quote unquote normal, but police conclude that the family left on their own accord and not in a rush. So it didn't look like, there was stuff knocked over. It literally looked like people started packing stuff and left. Mm-hmm. Like picture frames were gone. Like they took the pictures out. Everything looked like the furniture was left, but everything looked clean. So to the police, they're just saying these people just left, and that's it. The neighbor insisted that the family's missing Citroën C5 was missing and that the entire family could not have fit in one single car, to which the police officers didn't put too much thought into it and brushed it off. So see, this neighbor is thinking. She's thinking.
She's doing the police work and she's not even a police officer.
Literally. And so she's doing the detective work, dude. So this car, the Citroën C5, it's like a 4-seater car.
Uh-huh.
But there's 6 of them. Or
Okay.
5 of them, I guess. Wait. 6? Yeah, there are 6 of them. So she's thinking they're not all going to fit in that car. Something's off. But the police are like, that's weird. There's nothing. So they brushed it off. Xavier is seen that night at La Seine-sur-Mer in Var, where he had previously lived in the 80s and tried contacting a former girlfriend there.
Mm-hmm.
But they did not meet in person. On the 14th of April 2011, the Catholic school where Agnès worked also received a signed resignation letter for Agnès that she would be moving to Australia immediately. This letter was actually signed by her. So it was her signature. A typed letter dated on the 11th of April was sent to Xavier's relatives explaining that they had been secretly working with the American Drug Enforcement Administration, which is the DEA, in collecting information about the drug trafficking and money laundering at French clubs, but now had to relocate him and the family for safety reasons to the U.S. under a witness protection program.
What the fuck?
Yep. So he wrote this, probably at home because it was printed and typed, but they receive it 3 days later. Okay,
Mm-hmm.
So he's already gone. He's literally on the other side of the country when they received this, with him explaining like, hey, I had to do this. Unfortunately, I had to keep this a secret, but I did work in front of my family, so they have to come with me. So allegedly the kids knew. He asked his relatives to circulate reports on social media that his family had actually moved to Australia, so consistent.
Mm-hmm.
However, because this letter was typed, there is no way to confirm that Xavier actually wrote it himself. Xavier was he was seen at a hotel in Roquebrune-sur-Argnès in Var in southeastern France. So it's like a few hours west of Marseille. Here he is captured by surveillance cameras, and the next day on the 15th, he is seen leaving the hotel on foot, leaving his car in the parking lot, making it his last known sighting. To this day. The weird thing is, it didn't seem, and this is something that investigators have said, it didn't seem like he was hiding himself. He knew he would be caught on camera at these hotels. He knew, like, there were some where he was caught at an ATM withdrawing money. But it didn't seem like he was, like, hiding his face or anything. It literally looked like he was just normal, like, day-to-day business. Or what's the word?
I don't know. Business as usual?
Business as usual. That's the thing.
I'm like, I don't know what you're talking about.
It was just business as usual for him. He wasn't hiding his face. He was walking around the hotel like nothing. Allegedly, the camera that caught him in the parking lot, allegedly, it looks like he smiles at it as if to say, like, this is the last time you'll see me. So the police revisit the house an additional 6 times on different days looking for clues or any hints as to where they could have gone. Agnès' family was putting pressure on them, saying that it wasn't normal for a family to just disappear like that.
Yeah. And I feel like it almost seems like he had those letters drafted up from the very beginning, had people sign them or whatever, and he was mailing them one by one.
Yep.
To me. Like, that's what it sounds like. So it looks like the family is still alive when really they've already been gone for about a week. But, like, them getting these, like, letters post-dated certain dates,
yeah,
like, shows that, oh, they quote-unquote could be alive.
And the crazy thing is that, like, he had to have worked really quickly for all of this to, like, for this timeline to happen.
He
like,
was probably already planning it. That's why.
Yeah.
He already, like, had it pre-planned, pre-typed out.
So, this is where it kind of gets crazier, I'd say. So, a week later, on the 21st of April, 2011, the district attorney, Xavier Ronsin, is holding a press conference at the local courthouse to launch an official investigation into the disappearance of the family. Literally, while this is happening, the police were on their 6th visit to the house, and a police lieutenant discovered disturbed earth under the patio in the back garden of the house.
Okay.
There is where the remains of Agnès, Arthur, Thomas, Anne, and Benoit, and the 2 dogs had been buried.
Wow.
The bodies were found wrapped in blankets and put in black trash bags with religious artifacts such as rosaries, candles, crucifixes, statues of saints, and the Virgin Mary.
So that's why like the bed sheets are missing and stuff like that?
Mhm.
Things out of closets?
Yep.
Okay.
A detective on the case claimed that the way that the bodies were intentionally organized and placed with blankets and buried with religious objects, it looked like an imitation of a religious Catholic burial. Like, they literally had to stop the press conference during the district attorney. They had to stop the press conference because the district attorney received the call as he was speaking to the press. Like, this was like on the news because it was live.
Okay.
But his phone keeps ringing and he finally like picks up and he's like, they found the bodies. Xavier's.
Oh no.
So out of all this, Xavier's body was the one missing. Everyone was accounted for except him.
Mm-hmm.
So obviously to the police, this makes him the prime suspect. I think later that night or the next morning, Xavier's car is later located at the Formula One hotel in Roquebrune-sur-Agnès, where he was last seen.
Formula One, like the racing thing?
I don't know. Wait, sorry. Roquebrune-sur-Agence.
Which
You're
means
like, I don't care. It's just the name of the town.
Okay.
It's just the name of the town that he
Well, I
was
mean,
last in.
they do racing over there, so
Yeah. I mean, it is near Marseille. It is near Monaco. So
okay, that's where they do the racing. So yeah.
they do the racing there.
Yeah, they do the racing.
We know a little thing about sport.
Yeah.
One sport.
Monaco.
So this sent shockwaves across the country. Nantes is a pretty peaceful city. Not a lot happens there, so this really affected people there, especially people that knew them personally and were expecting a different outcome. It was broadcast on national TV news stations. The locals were so scared, they started calling the house La Maison de l'Horreur, or the House of Horror. Sorry, my computer glitched and it typed it out twice. So they started calling it the House of Horror. After the bodies were found, a forensics team searched the house again, but found no traces of blood anywhere in the house. Something that they thought was weird. Because it's like, how did these people die, but you clean it so well that there's not even a trace of blood?
Well, do we eventually find out what they died of?
Oh, hold on.
Okay. So you are going to tell us.
Yes.
Okay.
So they dusted for clues around the patio, but also found no fingerprints nor DNA. So there's no evidence to point Xavier as the perpetrator besides him leaving.
Okay.
There's nothing to show that he did this. Kind of. Also, supposedly, the patio where they were found was very low to the ground. Xavier had back problems. So there were so many people that knew him personally that were like, he would not be physically able to do this. He would not be able to physically be able to lower his back, dig a hole, and then put the bodies there, and then patch it back up. He had to have bumped his head, which would have left DNA, or he would have had to like, I don't know. The way that people knew him, they were like, he would not have been able to physically do this.
Okay.
Autopsies on the family were performed almost immediately. According to police records, all the children had lormetazepam in their bloodstream and livers, which is a potent sleeping pill. Agnès had citalopram in her bloodstream, which is an antidepressant. She was the only one that did not have sleeping pills in her system.
I used to take citalopram.
Whoa.
It's Celexa, actually.
Well, I don't know.
The name brand.
All of the family members had 2 bullet wounds in their heads from a point-blank range. Because of the sleeping pills, investigators believe that Xavier drugged the family and executed them in their sleep. The family relatives were not allowed to view the bodies, allegedly due to how violent the state of the bodies were in. With how quickly the autopsies were performed, some relatives began to believe that the uncovered bodies were not those of Agnes and the children. So I'm just throwing out all the information, and then we can talk about the theories at the very end. At the time of their deaths, Agnes was 48, Arthur was 20, Thomas was 18, Anne was 16, and Benoit was 13. The family's funeral was held on the 28th of April 2011 at Saint Felix Church in Nantes, with a large security presence at the church, which is weird. The bodies were cremated directly after the funerary service, and they were all buried a few days later in Noyers-sur-Seine in East Central France, where Agnes's family is from. So, almost immediately after the bodies were found, a nationwide search for Xavier started, with the media naming him l'homme le plus recherché de France, or France's most wanted man. Officially, he wasn't thought of a suspect for the murders because they don't have any evidence incriminating him. So he was more of a person of interest that may have information on what happened to the family. Interpol got involved pretty quickly and issued a nationwide search. These searches lasted weeks, composed of investigators, several local police stations, gendarme officers, firemen, mountain guides, just literally volunteers.
Who's available?
Literally.
Who's available?
It was nationwide. So with the help of professional cave divers,
spelunkers.
Yeah, I asked you about that. I was like, what do you call a person that goes into caves? And you're like,
I said spelunkers, and you were like, no.
I was like, I don't like that word.
And I'm like, yes, spelunkers.
It literally sounds like a slur. Sorry.
Spelunker?
Sorry.
Wow.
So they searched for about 40 natural caves near the area where Xavier was last seen. There were several tapes called in that claimed that they saw him, but none of them led anywhere. In total, there have been over 900 reported alleged sightings of Xavier since his last known sighting.
That's wild.
The official investigation still remains open, but several investigators believe that Xavier may have ended his life somewhere remote and far from everyone on the day he was last sighted. Over the years, police have launched several searches with the focus on finding his remains, because they're like convinced, like, he's not alive.
Yeah, he had to have died in the wilderness that he walked out into.
Yep.
I think I'm remembering that episode of Unsolved Mysteries that, like, it was a very mountainous, like, area where he walked towards.
Yeah.
And so, like, they didn't expect to find him.
Well, it's like southeastern France, so there's like a huge mountain range there. So it's like very mountainous, very forested. So although there have been strong leads, the several searches throughout the years have been fruitless.
Okay.
There was one in particular that it was like a cajero like a toll worker that supposedly drove by. He paid, and this toll worker said when they asked him what he looked like, he said, "Oh, he had a missing tooth," which was a detail that was never broadcasted on the news or anything. So it's like some people believe that was him. And from the location that he was at, he literally could have gone anywhere. Like, so many people think that he literally could have taken a train to Croatia. He could have taken a boat to, like, some island, or near Italy, and he could have taken a cargo ship and literally gone anywhere. So, there are theories. There are 3 theories.
Okay.
They kind of shed more light on him as well. So theory number 1 is that he was so indebted that he didn't see any other outcome than to end it all and take those closest to him, which is the one that's like the police believe. Because of the events of his childhood, with his father abandoning the family and his mother struggling financially, it's theorized that he allegedly would not have wanted to push that onto Agnes and the kids and put them in a similar situation and the shame that came with it. Especially for him being of nobility descent. He literally was a count, by the way. Like, his name was like Count Xavier Dupont de Ligonnès. So they think because of him as an aristocrat that he would not have wanted to bring that shame. This is also supported with how the bodies were buried with such care and with religious objects, almost like a way for Xavier to seek forgiveness. This theory believes that after he was last seen in Roquebrune-sur-Argens, he went to a secluded off-path area and took his own life so his relatives wouldn't find his body.
Mm-hmm.
So theory number 2 is that he was so indebted and obsessed with money that he didn't care about cutting off everyone and starting from zero with just himself. This is supported with the time that Agnes inherited about 350,000 euros, which is about 465,500 US dollar, after her parents passed away. She only spent a little money at a time, but Xavier demanded that she give her the full amount to fund his businesses.
Hell no.
After she refused, Xavier left the house for 3 months, which affected Agnes so much she lost about 20 kilos, which is about like 44 pounds from the stress. 44 pounds in 3 months. That's dangerous. And the entire time, he not only emailed her daily, calling her names, he also wrote letters to her relatives saying that she was making stupid decisions. Literally just calling her names.
The only one making stupid decisions is that motherfucker. Can't fucking keep a business afloat. Sounds like a business owner we know.
Damn. Are you talking about me?
Yeah. Someone I used to work for.
Gagged.
Seven
Shut up.
failed
talking.
businesses. Come on. Common denominator here is you, buddy.
So he went back home after 3 months and complained about how he was going to have to try to erase the negative image that she had given him to her friends and family. Which is crazy. It's like, if a man talked to me that way, I wouldn't want to be with him.
No.
What do you mean? Like,
you're gone.
He was literally showed back up and said, "This is your fault, by the way." What?
I would have been swimming in that money in that bed and said, "You can leave. Take your stuff and leave. Look at all this money I got because you don't have this money." What a fucking dick.
So basically, this theory believes that he wouldn't mind cutting out the closest people in his life if it meant giving him a fresh start or do-over. This is also supported by a handwritten list of cities in France that was found in the house, an alleged sighting in L'Aix-en-Provence months later. So this is the one that I was talking to you about, the toll that someone spotted him at.
Uh-huh.
So it was a weird clue to find. So people also think that like he may still be in France, just like in different locations, just constantly on the move.
Okay.
So theory number 3 is that he may have been telling the truth about working with a U.S. government agency, and he and the family actually did go into hiding, which is still a possibility.
Well, who was buried?
Yes, exactly. Especially with supposedly that the family were not allowed to see the bodies, so it made them think like these are like decoys. So this is supported with the fact that Agnes's family was not allowed to see the bodies after they were dug up from under the porch, allegedly due to the bodies being decoys to make the public believe that the family were dead, but in reality had possibly already left the country. This theory believes that French authorities were somewhat involved in making him seem like he couldn't be found and that he was actually living in the U.S. with the family the entire time. This is also supported with the letter that he left his friends Emmanuel Teneur, whose letter said, "Reste là jusqu'à mon retour, j'ai besoin de toi. Stay there until my return. I need you." Or Michel Rétif's letter said, "Je penserai bien à toi là-bas, pas le droit de te dire où, mais tu y es passé avec moi en novembre 90, Andy a creusé LOL." Which basically means, "I'll think about you over there. Don't have the right to tell you where, but you spent time there with me. In November of 90. Start digging, LOL." And this was confirmed that he did spend some time in the U.S. in November of 1990.
Okay.
With his friend. Throughout the years, there have been several alleged sightings of Xavier in the U.S., with one in particular being in Chicago, when a man walking near Lakeshore Drive heard a man speaking French, and when he turned to look at him and who was speaking, they said it looked exactly like Xavier. They had recently watched the Unsolved Mysteries episode on Netflix and said that the man looked exactly like him.
Except he got his tooth fixed.
Maybe.
That's crazy.
So that was all I have. That was
interesting. Thank you for talking about that.
That was the Nantes Massacre. Honestly, I want to believe that they did go into hiding, but we don't know. Like, this is weird.
Yeah,
and
it's a really weird case.
I don't want to like put my what's the word?
2 cents.
I kind of did. Sorry.
You kind of did.
Sorry. I like to believe that. I would like to, but I don't know.
I wish the family that they left behind would have gotten better closure, because obviously they feel like things are unresolved.
Well, not his sister, surprisingly. His sister still believes that he's alive somewhere.
Uh-huh.
I don't know. But yeah, I know what you mean. Like, it would have been...
I mean, like, the wife's family.
Oh, yes.
And, like, the kids.
That's
like,
true.
in regards to that. Like, it seems like they feel unfulfilled by not being able to see the bodies. Like, things didn't go the way that they wanted.
Yeah.
I wish they would have gotten closure.
No, that is sad. That is sad how they felt like... To them, they were expecting one outcome, and then they got the bad news, and they weren't able to properly grieve them. So...
Yeah.
But yeah, this was an interesting case because there were a lot of details that were missing from the Unsolved Mysteries episode. It was probably cut due to time.
Uh-huh.
And also they didn't want to paint a specific narrative. They were just like, these are the facts. We don't want to make you think of one way or the other. I didn't care. I wanted all information, or as much as I could, to get the full picture.
Okay.
Also, I found it interesting for, like, doing the research for this is that, I mean, we mentioned it a lot in the episodes in Spanish, where a lot of sources in Spanish are sometimes different than the information that are on the English sources.
Mm-hmm.
Same thing for the French ones, turns out. I guess it's just some, I don't even want to say mistranslation. Sometimes, like, whole pieces of information are missing. I don't know why. I don't know if some people that translate stuff just feel like some details aren't important. But there's a lot that I found, like, on French news articles that sometimes are not included at all in the English ones. So I forget I speak French sometimes until, like, I read it or I hear it and I'm like, what the?
Yeah.
Like that one time we were at Walmart and these two women were speaking French to each other. I'm like, hold on, estoy chismeando, don't talk. I need to hear what they're saying.
Chismoso. You literally stopped in your tracks to listen to what they were saying.
I mean, wouldn't you? You know how much chisme you're missing out on by not learning another language?
Sometimes I just don't want to know.
I've never said that. So yeah, that was my case. Thank you for listening. Thank you for being there.
That was good. It was very interesting. I mean, like you said, the Unsolved Mysteries episode definitely didn't have as much detail as this did. I don't think.
Yeah.
So
I mean, it's a good introduction to it.
Yeah, it's good. Thank you.
Is there anything else to add before we jump into the palate cleansers?
No, especially because this is kind of a murder. I feel like sometimes speculating or saying the weird things is like disrespectful. So I'd rather be respectful to the family, and I mean, they're still around. Yeah. So it's like, this was a very interesting case that you brought, but I don't have anything to add that would.
Yeah. No, I know what you mean. I meant it more like, where do you think he is? Because he actually spoke Spanish and English very well as well. So some people believe that he moved to Argentina. Some people believed he moved to Mexico. So I don't know.
He's somewhere.
You think so? You think he's alive somewhere?
Yeah.
That's crazy. Okay. So for some of the palate cleanser topics we have,
can I start first?
Oh, sure.
We finally we have more podcast pets. Our prima Eleni on Instagram sent us Zoe and Shiloh, her dogs, and they love our podcast. So we just wanted to say hi to them and to Eleni. I don't think that's her name, but that was her name on Instagram. So
yeah, thank you.
Also, our prima Maria R sent us her like a picture of the chicken. She has a bunch of chickens, but she sent us one named Mabel. She is 3 years and 4 months old, and Maria has had her since she was a little baby chick.
How cute.
That is so cute. This is the kind of pets that I like to hear about.
I
love all pets, but just like out of the ordinary ones. Like,
here's my chicken.
Yeah. I said that I really like everybody's pets, but like the not so common ones are the ones that pique my interest.
No, I know what you meant. I mean, I'm the same way, where it's like I like animals, but yeah, those weird, like, unexpected pets are always the ones that are like, wait, you have a chicken?
I guess Facebook thinks that I like chickens like that because you know how like it suggests like posts from groups that you've never even seen before. You're like, what is this?
Yeah.
I don't know this person, and you realize that it's like a suggested group post.
Mm-hmm.
I get group posts for like chickens that have what is it, like something hen crop or something. There's something wrong with them, or they're eating rocks. Like
Oh my
people just
God.
posting their chickens and like the different things that they do, and I'm like,
Birds do that.
raising chickens is interesting.
Well, a lot of birds eat rocks. Not to like swallow, but like obviously they swallow them, and it's meant to like crush up the stuff that they have in their stomach,
Yeah.
and then they like get rid of them later.
Yeah.
Dinosaurs used to do that too.
That's very interesting.
Thank you, Jurassic Park. I read that in the book. Sorry.
Well, thank you, Primas, for sending us your pets.
Yes, thank you.
Okay, so now what do you have for the palate cleanser? I'm interested.
Sorry. I mentioned the last episode of Auri Catarina about how there was some controversy about she was cleaning graves and some people were upset about it. Someone did reach out to us, and I'm sorry, I forgot your name. I just did not write it down. But they clarified, they said that the actual controversy was that she was using too harsh chemicals on the tombstones. And I'm like, yeah, I remember that too. So I think it was both, because I do remember seeing people respond saying like, this is so disrespectful. Why would you clean tombs? And some other people were saying like, I don't mind that she's cleaning tombs, is that she's using too harsh chemicals and it's going to like affect the rock. So I did forget about that. Thank you for sending that in.
I think I do remember that now, where people were like, she's going to take the lettering off. Like she's basically sandpapering the rock.
Yes. So,
because I think it was like pink stuff that she was using and a scrub. I don't really remember. Like this is speculation. This is hearsay.
And we don't mind being corrected. I mean, that's kind of like we get the discussion going.
Yeah. And sometimes it's like trying to remember it instead of looking it up.
Yeah, we don't look stuff up here. we write them down and then we talk about it. Yeah. And any plot holes, wink. Any plot holes, we're just like, you know what?
Let it happen.
Let it happen. We made it up.
Although now that we're talking about movies earlier, the movies that we talked about, I did write the director down and some of like the main cast. I didn't end up saying what some of them were, but I'm trying to do my little due diligence to get a little more
due diligence. Yeah.
More facts.
Yeah. Well, thank you. And yeah, we don't mind. I mean, if we're on YouTube, so you guys can comment what's on your mind. We'll read them. I read everything.
Yeah, he's annoying.
I just, well, why wouldn't you? Why wouldn't you read everything? I may not get back to you, but I do read everything. I read all the reviews, and when I'm feeling sad, I read a positive review. And when I feel like I'm too powerful, I read a negative one to bring me back down.
Oh my
gosh. So it's back to school time. I know we mentioned it.
Yeah.
So this may be like a controversial thing, but what color notebooks do you associate with each subject?
Green is science. I'm sorry. That's the end. That's the end.
Okay. Well, what subjects are there? There's like science, English, or like language arts.
English is blue.
Okay, I agree with you. So we're 2 and 2 so far. Like I agree, science is green, and English is blue.
Math is red.
Okay, I agree. Wait, I'm sorry. I'm trying to think of like the other subjects. Like what other subjects?
Like the core subjects.
Yeah,
government, or like history.
Government and history, I flip-flop between the two, but they're either purple or yellow, but most of the time they were purple.
See, my government one was always yellow.
Oof.
My history one was purple. This is weird. Why is that?
I don't know.
What the hell?
Let us know.
It's like I always had like my spiral notebook of that color and then like a folder
that
to match
with
the
it.
color.
Yep. Or I just shoved everything in the notebook. Don't even bother with folders. I think that happened a lot in high school. Like I stopped carrying folders around high school, and I'm like, I either had like one big folder where I put everything, or I just folded it in half and put it in the notebook. I was a reckless child. But you know what? I graduated. And that's all that matters.
When I was younger and dumb, and I was like, I don't need to pay attention in class. I had like one of those thick notebooks, the thick spirals where you put notes in, and it has like the 5 sections dividing it, and there's like a folder between the sections. You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
It's like a thick spiral notebook. I had like my first one would be English, my second one would be math, and I would try to take notes in those. That doesn't work. You need to keep them separate.
That's true.
There may be some people that works for, but unfortunately it was not for me. I ran out of space way too fast. There was no place to put my notes anymore. It was just kind of a mess.
I was gonna say, like, I think it works for some people and it doesn't work for others, because for some classes you sometimes don't need notes. Sometimes like you have like something separate where you organize your stuff a lot better. What did you use purple for? I'm curious.
History. I just said that. History was purple. Government was yellow.
But you took those like... Wait, hold on. Mine was opposite then. Because U.S. history, or like anything history related, like social studies, was always yellow for me. Purple, I used it for literally any other extra class that I was taking. So like usually French, obviously.
Yeah. My language classes were always like a light blue.
What the... You always get like...
Because they were all involved with like languages in English. You know, English is a language.
Oh, true.
Yeah, so it was like a variation of blue.
Did you ever have a black notebook?
Yes.
What did you use that for?
That one was for debate.
Debate class? You had a debate class?
Yeah, I learned how to do Lincoln Douglas style debates. And then we also did oratory in that class, and I didn't know this, but there's like tournaments that you go to. We were required in that class to go to 3 tournaments at different schools. And you go and like you have a Lincoln Douglas debate, and there's rules about what you can do. Like you can't look at your opponent. You don't ever attack the opponent's sources. Like it was like very interesting.
That's like rules. Yeah,
there was like rules. And then with like the oratory on the ground, you had like 3 spots, like a diamond, that you had to shuffle between. You had to first of all remember your like 10-page speech, and then shuffle between. And there were certain hand movements that you had to do, and you had to look at the audience. And then there was a grading rubric for the Lincoln Douglas debate, and then the oratory. Like you would get graded. Like That's it was crazy. Very interesting. I never went to any of those, so I had to like do very well in that class on everything else to make sure that I got at least a C.
You're so annoying.
I was not gonna go do extra shit on the weekends. I'm sorry. I'm not using my Saturday to go do some stupid stuff at another school.
I never did like extracurricular stuff, but I definitely feel like I should have. Yeah. Like if you are in high school now, like if you're listening to this and you're in high school, you should...
First of all, why? We cuss too much. No, I'm just kidding.
Son groseros, eh?
Yeah.
No, I was just kidding.
Stay in school.
Stay in school, first of all, or secondly. But also do extra stuff. Like you only do high school once.
Yeah.
Do extra stuff. Join a club. Join a sport. I wish I would have done sports, honestly.
I regret not going to those now. Like doing my original oratories and going to those schools, and then like the Lincoln Douglas stuff, because I was so focused on like my little after school job. McDonald's.
Did you ever Did you ever have an orange notebook, and what did you use it for?
An orange notebook.
Or no, we talked about yellow notebook, sorry.
I used my orange notebook for my business class.
Okay. I think I used mine for econ or German class, because it was like the extra class.
Yeah.
What else? I feel like I'm interested to know what like other people think about this. So like let us know in like the comments of like, because there's always going to be those people that are like, actually green was math, and it's like, what?
That's weird.
What?
Because science is green.
Red was science? What? Yeah, some of them...
I don't know what kind of science you're doing, but my science is green.
Yeah, I'm interested to know, like, it's just interesting to see, like, what other people associate, like, subjects with colors. I don't know why the human mind does that. I mean, they do the same thing with, like, days of the week.
Yeah.
What color is Monday for you?
Red.
What? Mine's blue.
Ugh, no, Mondays suck.
What color are Tuesdays?
Green.
Green. Yep. What color are Wednesdays?
Blue.
See, mine's orange.
Uh.
I think it has to do with like an elementary school calendar that a teacher had. And I think Fridays were red. I don't know.
And sometimes it might be that, because I remember being like, as a kid, when you learn different subjects, they were like, okay, now get your science notebook out. And those they gave you, and they already had assigned colors.
Oh, that's true. Yeah.
So that might also play a part into it if like you fell under that category of like where you were provided things.
That's true.
Yeah. And they do color code things so that you can differentiate between them, and it's easier for you to go through your stuff.
Yeah, especially for kids. Like, usually the colors are just easier to look at.
Yeah. Wow, I think I might have solved the puzzle of why we do that.
You did it. There it is.
Wow.
Don't even bother commenting.
Put it
anymore.
on BuzzFeed.
I'm just kidding. But I am interested. So comment down below and let us know like what your subject colors were.
Yeah.
I'm just curious. I'm just chismoso.
BuzzFeed, I'm available for an interview.
I made it up. My sources are made it up. It was Lala weekend a few weeks ago. 3 weeks ago? 2 weeks ago?
3 weeks ago.
And I wish I would have gone. If anybody did go, I hate you. I'm just kidding.
I would have wanted
fun.
just to go see twice.
Literally, I was going to say that. Like, I would have only ever wanted to go see twice. And I'm so glad that after that show, there were so many people that, like, went home and searched, like, their music. So, Twice, so anyone who doesn't know, Twice is a K-pop group. Their performance was phenomenal.
They perform.
They performed.
They dance. They change their outfits. They sing. Like, it's very, very interesting.
When I tell you they are icons, when I tell you they are divas, I'm not exaggerating.
He's really not.
I have 2 more stuff, and then we can call it a night.
We can head out. We'll leave you guys.
Yeah, we're going out, guys.
Yeah.
So Itzel, a listener on Instagram, reached out to us that there were a group of people that believed that there was a baby put inside the bean in downtown Chicago.
What's the baby doing in there?
That the baby has now grown and is now an adult, and they're saying that we should open the bean and release him.
What the hell is happening?
I thought it was so funny. They're like, can you please talk about this? I was like, okay. You literally can just do that. You can message us and say, hey, can you talk about this? And we're like, okay.
Yeah, depending. If it's weird, we'll have to talk about it.
If it's weird, we'll pull you aside and say, now, honey, you can't do that. You can't do that in public. What did we
told you
about?
this? Did your parents say this?
But I thought it was so funny because there are people actually protesting outside the bean saying, like, release him. Release the bean man.
Oh, my God.
I like to think of it as like a James and the Giant Peach type of situation where he lives inside the bean and eats the bean from the inside out. Let us know.
Who made the Cloud Gate?
A man. I don't know.
The only reason I ask is because I think it's Anish Kapoor. There we go. It's Anish Kapoor. This is the same guy that created, I think,
Yeah, The Dark is Black.
And then he didn't
I don't
let
think
anybody
you can say
else.
the name.
Oh.
I think it's trademarked. We'll bleep it out.
He created supposedly The Darkest Black.
The Dark is Black.
Yeah, but he didn't let anybody. He like made it to where only he can use it.
Yeah, he
artwork.
He bought the rights for it,
and so yeah, we don't really like him that much.
Yeah, that was weird.
We like the bean because it's like a landmark.
Yeah,
but we call it the bean, and he doesn't like that, so we like calling it the bean.
I mean, that's weird. Like, I get it. You gave it a name, and people don't respect it, but it's like,
why are you so weird about the color, and why are you so weird about the bean?
Like, dude, the bean. You should be proud that you made the bean.
This is Chicago's womb right here.
The bean. Chicago's bean.
Stop.
Anyway.
Oh my God.
One last thing, and we can call it a night, because I feel like this is kind of long. Sorry. So I used to work with a gentleman named Tony.
Uh-huh.
I don't know if you guys have seen it on the news, but there was a man named Andrew James McGann. He is the alleged suspect of murdering a family in the Devil's Den State Park in Arkansas a few weeks ago.
Okay.
So this guy, Tony, that I used to work with, really cool guy. He posted on Facebook after the man was revealed, like who he was. He posted on Facebook. He's like, dude, I saw this man there. So this guy used to work with Tony. He was there at that park when it happened. He was on his bike. He was interviewed on the news because he said that he actually walked or rode his bike right next to the guy, and he thought it was weird that the guy was wearing all black. First of all, it's hot outside.
Yeah, it's summertime.
And he was wearing all black. He was not wearing like any hiking equipment or any like, what's the word?
Camping gear, hiking equipment, nothing.
Yeah, nothing. So it seemed weird. It just didn't. It seemed like he was out of place, and he definitely stood out. He said something happened where he had to turn back around and go back home, but yeah, he basically brushed against this serial killer, which was scary. Like, he was interviewed on the news and everything. So, but yeah.
That is so weird.
That's scary, honestly, to think that that can literally happen to anyone.
Yep.
So, sorry. I feel like we ended on a
weird note.
Very dark note. Yeah.
Yeah.
So,
well, thanks for listening, though. Please follow us on Instagram, TikTok, and YouTube at Get Spooky Podcast. Also, email us any story suggestions or your own scary stories at getspookypodcast@gmail.com. Special thanks to Taylor Turner for the artwork, Kyle Fields for the intro music, and Leonardo for the logo redesign. Don't forget to tell someone you love how much they mean to you. Bye-bye.
Bye.